Welcome back to the channel. I'm out here on this cold night. I'm gonna finish framing up that wall and putting in that sub panel. It's gotten ridiculously cold here in Western Pennsylvania. I actually had to break out the torpedo heater. And I'm gonna get framing up this small wall, as I talked about in my last video. Hopefully get that sub panel in here pretty quick. I have my top and bottom plate built. I'm gonna start cutting out some studs, get this wall put together, and then I'll get it anchored in place. Remember, I'm gonna have to cut around this conduit and put some tapcons in to hold the pressure wood to the floor, and I'll show you how I'm gonna do that a little bit later. I want this panel box about eye level here. So I'm gonna measure up from the floor, come up to about where I wanna put the top of the box. And I'm just gonna put a couple of 2x4s on the back. So this conduit is 3 inches, so I think what I'm going to do, instead of just cutting all the way through, just put a couple marks here and leave about a ½ inch. I think if I cut something out like that, I'll be able to sneak around that conduit. Just cut that out with the Sawzall. I'll go ahead and get my wall nailed up to the other wall and get this panel installed. So this is kind of a learning curve. I forgot that I had to put that brace in place, so I had to take this stud out. Later on I'll frame out this door, but I just want to get the studs up to get some power in here right now. In order to get my panel box to sit out flush with the drywall, I'm going to have to put a board back here. I'm going to go ahead and put a 3/4 inch, couple of 3/4 inch pieces of board on here, and then mount the panel box to that. Okay, I have my conduit all set up. I'm going to mount the box. There's a metal ring that goes in the bottom that screws on to this portion here that'll hold this conduit in place. You definitely want to level this up because you will see it. Okay, looks pretty good. So I'll go ahead and make the connections. These two middle lugs are your hot connections. These are where your breaker is going to tie into. So you want to be careful with these panels because when you hook up these lugs, all of this metal is all hot. And then these sub panels are basically like your service entry panels in your house. There's one big difference. Your grounds and your neutrals are separated. So on a main house service panel, you have your two main lugs that come in, and then you'll have a ground on one side or neutral on the other. And then you can just put the bare copper wire or the white wire, the ground being your ground, the copper being your ground and your white being your neutral. You can go ahead and put those on this bus bar, on either bus bar, and it doesn't matter. With the sub panel, it's very particular. Your grounds and your neutrals have to be separated, and I'll show you what that looks like. Okay, what I'm gonna start with is stripping this jacket back. You wanna use a utility knife and be extremely careful. You don't wanna cut any of this coating on these wires. And you don't need to go clear down in the conduit. Just get back far enough to where you can manipulate the wires real easily. Okay, we'll start with our ground. It doesn't matter which one you start with. I would definitely give yourself a little bit of room. Bend this around, we'll cut it right there. So to make this Noalox compound, whenever you connect aluminum wire, you have to use this compound to keep it from oxidizing. So I just go ahead and goop it up pretty well. It conducts right through it, so it's not a big deal. It doesn't really matter how much you put on. And then these are Allen screws. These lugs are Allen screws. You do want to get these pretty tight, and when you're done, tug on them a little bit. Make sure that they don't pull out. Okay, do the neutral next. So you want to strip back maybe an inch. Same thing, goop it up really well. Yeah, all of our connections look good. So my wife and baby are taking a nap, or else I'd go have my wife throw the breaker down in the basement on the main panel and turn this on. I don't want to wake them up, so in the meantime, I'm going to put these tapcons in the bottom plate. These are used to connect wood and other materials to cement. They have a special bit that you use. I don't know if you can see the end of that, but it's a masonry bit. And what you'll do is you'll drill down a little bit further than the length of the screw. So maybe go down about ½ an inch further, 3/8 to ½ an inch deeper than the actual tapcon that you're using. And then you'll just put it in just screw the tapcon in just like a regular screw into the concrete. When you buy a big pack of these tapcons, they give you a bit. I don't really like these. I use the one that has the 1/4 inch connection that I can use in my impact drill, and I've had really good luck drilling into concrete with these bits and with this drill. I don't have to go get, you know, your big hammer drills or anything. This thing will just buzz right into the concrete. And then I just use a nut driver to drive these screws in. That's it. Okay, I'm gonna work on getting this door framed in. Okay, I'm going to test the power in the sub panel. It's important to keep in mind that these two lugs are hot, and both those bars going up are also hot. That's where your breaker is going to attach, and so you want to make sure that you don't just pay attention to lugs, you pay attention to those whole bars, because all of those are hot and they will shock you. Here's our ground hooked up, and here's our neutral. Each leg of the hot power has 120 volts. And you measure the 120 volts from one of the lugs to the ground. I don't know how well you can see that. You should get about 120 volts. And then you can do the same thing with the neutral, about 120 volts. Between the ground and the neutral should obviously be 0 volts. There shouldn't be any potential there. And between each one of these hot lugs, there should be 240, 120 in each leg. And we got that, 246. So everything's set up right. We don't have any backfeed through our neutral or ground. And you're gonna start to understand what I mean by separating the neutral and the ground when I start putting breakers in here. And you'll see how everything's separated out. So everything's good here. Like I said, you just want to be careful with this, just like you would a main service entry panel. So you saw a little bit earlier that I used this little bandsaw to cut that aluminum wire. I know that Ryobi, DeWalt, and Milwaukee all make one of these. The only difference I know between this, the Milwaukee, and the DeWalt is that this one is freaking awesome. It was about $125, and I don't know if it can't do anything that the Milwaukee and the DeWalt can do. You'll see during my videos that I pretty much use Ryobi tools. I beat these things to death for years. I think I've lost 2 tools. It was a grinder and a drill that died on me, and technically they were both my fault. I was way overworking them and probably would have wrecked any brand of tool. But I love Ryobi. Their tools are inexpensive. I've beat them in construction for years, and they've worked really well for me. Especially if you're a homeowner, don't be crazy and go buy DeWalt tools or Milwaukee tools or anything like that. These Ryobis, I think they're way underrated. I would just get a collection of these plus all the batteries. They're all the 18-volt batteries, and I have, I don't know, probably almost every tool Ryobi makes, from the weed eater to this bandsaw to drills. Everything in it all takes the same battery. So certainly recommend these. So thanks for watching this video. Hope you learned something about sub panels. You'll see it makes a little bit more sense when I start hooking in the breakers and you see each circuit separated into grounds and neutrals. So stay tuned for that video. Like, subscribe, and share if you like this video, and we'll see you in the next one.